we need to just own and to embrace and to be steeped in the reality that the Eucharist is where it all begins. It is the font and summit of the Church. In my own personal reflection just recently, I've thought of the word steeped. My mother was from Australia and she loved hot tea. And I remember, the tea steeping, and it had to be boiled water. She wouldn't drink tea if the water hadn't boiled. It had to be boiled, and it had to steep for the right amount of time. And I've just been kind of playing with that word of steeped, to be steeped in the truth of the Eucharist. And I think in many ways, in my own life and in the life of the modern church, we need to steep more in the truth of the Eucharist. It's been there always, thankfully, that it has never gone away. The church has clung to that belief that this bread becomes the body of Christ, this wine becomes his blood, as Christ tells us very clearly, not just in chapter 6 of John's Gospel, but in so many different passages and in so many different ways. That truth is echoed. That is the truth that the apostles latched onto as soon as he returned to the Father. They said, how do we remember him? Well, he told us to remember him in bread and wine that becomes his body and blood. That has been, that Eucharistic faith, that belief this is real, body and blood, soul and divinity, has been the nurturing font and summit for the church from the very earliest days, not just years, but the earliest days. And so we need to be steeped in that. And just in reflecting on my own journey in the faith as a kid and growing up in a Catholic family, and then through seminary, ordination as a deacon, and then soon after a priest, 32 years as a priest, and now 5 years as a bishop, I recognize that I need to be more and more steeped in that Eucharistic truth, because what occurs to me is that we're, as a church, too often we just have sort of a hint of the truth. It is the truth. In every Mass that's celebrated, that bread and wine become the body and blood of Christ. But we need to steep ourselves, to let that really transform us as water that is steeped in tea becomes something else. We need to be changed by that Eucharistic truth, that the reality that the Eucharist really is the body and blood of Christ. It's something that as I reflect more and read more and pray more, it is a font that just draws you more and more deeply into that truth. And I truly believe that is too often what's missing when loved ones in our own families, and certainly members of our community, wander away from the church, turn their backs on the church, because we haven't been steeped enough in that Eucharistic truth. All of us can be more and more drawn into that mystery and know what a wonder it is that the Lord continues to feed his people with the body and blood of his only begotten Son.